The playoffs are here, and you can predict the action all the way to the finals with FanDuel Predicts. Predict the spread, the total points, and even the game-winning moments that make the playoffs. Sign up and get a $25 bonus with FanDuel Predicts.
Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant. 18-plus bonus is non-withdrawable and expires 7 days after receipt. Trading derivatives involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with their consumer protection tools. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus-offer-terms.
Excuse me! Taxi!
Come on, what are you doing? This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Man, poor John Eastman, Rudy Giuliani, two of the greatest lawyers in the country still can't practice law. I got to get their law licenses back. I got to do something to help these guys. Rudy Giuliani, the greatest lawyer, and they were disbarred. Not for stealing money from clients, not because they were convicted of a crime, a serious crime, because they were advocating aggressively for their client, the President of the United States. You're allowed to do that. You're also allowed to be wrong on the law. Hey, I think the law means this. No, you're wrong. Okay, you're allowed to be wrong on the law, and that's a matter of, interpretation. John Eastman is a great constitutional attorney. He was a scholar, way before 2020, right? A huge reputation. He clerked for, I believe it was Chief Justice Rehnquist at some point in his career, right? A blue chip guy. And he had some interesting views on the Electoral Count Act of 1887, which is way open to interpretation, just like everything else in the Constitution. That's why we have a Supreme Court. Super duper brainiacs look at the same law and they see the opposite thing. That's not illegal. That's called a disagreement. It's just amazing to me that man, and so the Supreme Court in California just basically ruled that his disbarment can hold, right? Now, what difference does that make? I mean, it's one lawyer. Well, if it happened to him and it's happening to others, I'm getting more and more concerned about Democrats coming back in 2028. What they will do to us, what they will do, it will be payback, it will be revenge, it will be wow. And it's not President Trump I'd be worried about. I'd be worried about all of us. He can take care of himself. He's got the money. He's got, and he doesn't deserve any more problems. They'll give him more problems, but I'm worried about the rest of us. Some of us got some serious problems after 2020, actually. We don't talk about that too much, but yeah, that was a painful time. Right-wing extremists. The Southern Poverty Law Center said nasty things about conservative media that they didn't like. Tried to lump us in with hate groups. Hate groups. Hate groups. I just think we should have borders, and I don't think we should sexualize children. Hey, that's a conspiracy theorist. Hate group. No, that's considered a law-abiding citizen. A law-abiding citizen. I have a friend who I haven't spoken to in a long time, and they're like, what happened to you? Why are you so right-wing? And I would just go through it, issue by issue by issue. What concerns you so much? And literally, it wasn't anything they could pinpoint. It was just this vibration they didn't like, this tone. But they couldn't be specific, because when you get right down to it, MAGA, ultra MAGA even, is pure American. There ain't nothing wrong with being a MAGA. Now, there is something wrong with paying people who work for the Ku Klux Klan and calling yourself a liberal, calling yourself pro-democracy. This indictment outlines, here's another one. Have you ever heard of the President of the American Front? Okay, it's some sort of radical group. Let's see here. An informant paid by the Southern Poverty Law Center, which will hereafter be referred to as the Southern Haters, right? They participated in a cross burning. This one guy organized a cross burning. That's a hideous thing to do. I never understood why they would burn a cross, right? Why would they do that? It's scary. It seems to be sacrilegious. This guy was paid by the Southern Poverty Law Center, a.k.a. the Southern Haters, $19,000 to do that. Some of this was small money. Some of this was big money. Another informant at the National Alliance was paid $140,000, a guy at the Ku Klux Klan. Now, what are they going to get him on? Count 1 through 6. The facts set out in the paragraphs, this is the indictment. This is wire fraud, because I believe they were misrepresenting the nature of the payments. And it looks like to funnel donated money to the informants, individuals at the Southern Haters, including a person who would become the chief financial officer and a person who would become the director of the intelligence project, opened a series of bank accounts at Bank 1 and 2 in the name of various fictitious entities, including but not limited to the Center Investigative Agency, Fox Photography, Northwest Technologies, Tech Writers Group, Rare Books, Rare Warehouse. Pretty ordinary names. Nobody would think that they're spending money or sending money to the Ku Klux Klan, would they? Let's see here. Yeah, the wire stuff, wire fraud. Mail fraud, wire fraud. This is how they can get you. A wire transaction in the amount of approximately $4,750 from SPLC operating account at Bank Number 1 to a First Citizen account controlled by informant number 9. This is it. This is standard law enforcement, right? Hey, they were trying to get Rudy Giuliani for leaving voicemails. They arrested Rudy Giuliani for leaving somebody a voicemail to ask him to call me back. Hey, do me a favor. Hey, John Roberts, knock it off, will you? John Roberts. I know Donald Trump makes you uncomfortable, John. You ever see that pretty boy on Fox News? He is a rhino, along with most of them over there. Along with most of them. They hate Trump, but they don't really care because they're going to go to that silly White House, what are those things? The White House Correspondents and the White House Christmas party. I've been to all of those dumb things. I don't want to go back. After I saw George W. Bush make the jokes he did about not finding weapons of mass destruction, I say, you know what, Swamp? You're not my people. You're not my kind of people. Hey, what the hell is Maury Povich doing back? Anybody remember Maury Povich in Current Affair? He's a sleazy guy, quite frankly. I didn't like what he did. I never liked him. And let's just, Maury Povich is back. Why in the hell would he? Does he have that talk show still? Cut 10, please. Cut 10.
Democrats do not play politics the way Republicans do. The difference between the parties, they do not. They do not.
Please.
Democrats play by the Marquis de Queensberry rules. I think they do not. They're not rule breakers. What's been
You're trying to tell me
they're not.
If the Democrats take the Senate,
I would hope they would.
2027.
I hope.
In 2027, and Alito retires, and Trump names a Supreme Court justice, that the Democrats are going to have hearings and actually confirm him?
I think they will.
Or her?
Because they don't
Not a chance.
Well, he's still alive. Whenever I think of Maury Povich, I think of Connie Chung and that project that they had to make a baby. Did they ever make that baby? I was pulling for him. Connie Chung is a nice lady, actually. A little bit fake news-ish, but what are you going to do? One other thing here. Kash Patel is really on a rampage about this Atlantic thing. Sorry, Kash, but when you he went to the locker room of a hockey team that won a big game, and he didn't even play hockey with this team, and he was drinking beer, celebrating. Can you imagine going to the Yankees after they win? Right? And just showing up and partying with them. I couldn't do that. It wasn't my victory. I didn't do anything. Even if I was the FBI director, I'd be even more out of place. But I saw him chugging beer and champagne or whatever, and when you do that in a job like that, when you're surrounded by snakes, you're just inviting it, man. You're just inviting it. That's a big job. I think it might be, I don't know. I hope it's not too big for him. I'm pulling for the guy. Kash Patel, Garden City native. Director of the FBI, under fire. Hey, if he wins, though, he's going to be very rich. He's sued for $250 million. And these lawsuits have been going the other way lately. Be right back.
Oh, it's out of here. Home run, Fairy Hawk. Hawks.
Get ready, Staten Island. It's time to celebrate 5 years of Ferry Hawks baseball. Join us Friday, April 24th through Sunday, April 26th for our first homestand of the season and our 5th anniversary celebration. Score big with $5 tickets. Grab $5 domestic draft beers. Enjoy $5 popcorn. And yes, 2 Nathan's hot dogs for just $5. Visit ferryhawks.com now to lock in your seats.